Your book comes at a time when businesses are facing unprecedented challenges. So, what inspired you to write this book, and why do you believe it's essential for today's leaders?
Yeah, well, definitely. I've established myself as a fixer, and I didn't give myself that moniker at all. It's been given to me, and I just heard it from people that I respect a few years ago. But as a full-time executive, I can only help one company at a time, and that's frustrating when I see a reoccurring problem or challenge out there. And so I thought about what was the best thing that I could do to have a multiplier effect. And a book seemed like a great way to do that. It's a way for me to get the message out there in ways that companies can improve when it comes to change management. And that's really the inspiration for it. And, in terms of why I think it's essential, uh, change is accelerating more than it ever has in the past. And if you look at artificial intelligence as being a bellwether for that, the change is just enormous. When you have data analytics that consumers can access via ChatGPT or other tools, businesses have to be accelerating even more. So, I think leaders that are looking at the wave of change that's coming through automation, through artificial intelligence, they really do need to master it and quickly, not only to thrive, but in some cases just to survive.
And you mentioned that 70% of change initiatives fail. That's a staggering number to me. So, what do you think is the primary reason for this high failure rate?
It's a massive number, and I think people don't realize how big it is. The primary reason is people. So, whether you're talking about leadership or you're talking about middle management or the frontline people that actually have to do the work of change, if they don't buy into the change plan, if they don't believe in it, then the level of motivation and execution and productivity goes down. And so your biggest factor of risk is always people when it comes to designing the plan and implementing it. And so that's it. So there has to be a connection between the solution that a company believes in on paper and the actual people that are going to be leading it and doing the work. And not enough attention is paid to that connection between the human factor and the business problems that you're trying to solve.
So let's talk about this, but then because you have sort of this innovative approach, it's called the 80/20 CS blueprint.
Correct.
So can you give us a brief overview of the approach and then how it balances both business and those human factors you mentioned?
Absolutely. So 80/20 CS, very quickly, I'll just define it. The company name is not random. So 80/20 refers to the Pareto principle, which is the 80/20 rule, that 80% of benefits in any scenario come from 20% of inputs, whether those are positive or negative. And so I'm all about focusing on those 20% of bad things that you want to mitigate, or the 20% of good things that you want to amplify in order to get to the outcome that you're seeking. That's number one. And then the C stands for core. You have to have confidence in a plan. You have to be open to change if things don't go the way you expect them to go. Resiliency is huge. Change is hard, so you've got to be able to bounce back from those bumps. And you've got to be able to willing to work hard, effort, E for effort. So the C stands for that. And the S stands for strength. What is your measure of strength in all of those four areas of core? And so, six little letters and numbers that mean an awful lot. And so the 80/20 blueprint is a five-gate framework for helping leaders. So the C-suite, I'm focused on leadership because when you can help leadership, then it trickles down to the organization, and boards turn things around that aren't functioning correctly. So gate one is all about macro change strategy at the leadership and board level. Do we have buy-in? Do we believe in the plan? Gate two is all about setting that measurable outcome, that desired outcome that you have as an organization. And gates one and two are focused, led by executive leadership and the board. Gate three is about execution strategies. So really you're looking at middle management that's taking the macro set strategy and now they actually have to push it down into the functional teams. Gate four is setting objectives, which everyone knows what objectives are in business. And then gate five is setting your communications and sustainability plan. So if you have a change project and then you don't actually operationalize sustaining the change, if things will just fall back to the way that they were before. So the thing that binds the business and the human factors is that at every gate there is a method for measuring buy-in. So at the leadership table, you might have 5 executives put their hand up and they say, "Yes, I agree with that plan. Yeah, let's go forward with it." But underneath that yes, you have even just one executive who truly doesn't buy into it. They actually don't believe it, but they're not willing to say that in the boardroom. So in a more one-on-one coffee situation, maybe it's a web meeting, whatever it may be, you want to understand what their level, their score strength is on that particular plan. And when you understand where the weaknesses are, which could be completely legitimate, work through that with all of the leadership team before you move to the next gate. So at each stage of the 5 gates, it's about bringing people together around a plan for that particular gate and measuring buy-in. And if you eliminate the risk at each gate before you move on to the next one, you're not skipping steps, and your rate of succeeding and not being in that 70% failure club will go up exponentially, and the probability that you're going to be in the 30% success club will go up exponentially. So that's the approach that I've taken my whole career. It is about discipline. It's about pragmatism, looking at things very transparently and being very honest about your current state, and then moving forward in a logical way, and you can get really crazy things done.
So this book sounds like right time, right place. Certainly tumultuous times ahead with CERB coming due in December, businesses looking how they can do things differently to keep the doors open and the lights on. So, where can people find you and get this book?
So 8020cs.com is the business address. You can find out everything about me. I've got my bio, but also links to LinkedIn. The book is available on Amazon now, Kindle, hardcover, paperback, and it has been recorded on Audible. It's not released yet, but that will be coming out in the next couple of weeks.
All right, incredible. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day.